what about where's Gil?
I know, I got a little bit of play there, huh?
The camera really does that.
Ouch. Ouch. I'm on the camera with you every time I'm here. Goof. Thanks. You want to start it? Okay, perfect.
He's already right in the perimeter.
You all right? Okay. Right here. It's the phone? I don't know that you need to, you should probably stay on this side. It's probably good. Because the sun's right here. You don't want the sun in here. I'll suffer through it. Likes to torture me with yes. Tear it now, yeah. There you go. Your ribbon's ready to go? You tear your ribbons? Yeah? All right. Ezri. Esainai el heharim me'ayin yavo Ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai Ose Shamayim va'aretz. Ezri me'im Adonai Ose Shamayim va'aretz. Ayitein lamod raglecha Hayanum shomrecha. Hine lo yanum velo ishan. Shomer Yisrael. Adonai shomrecha. Adonai tzilcha al yad yeminecha. Adonai shomrecha. Adonai tzilcha al yad yeminecha. Yomam hashemesh lo yakeka ve'yareach balayla. Adonai yishmorcha mikora. Yishmor et nafshecha. Adonai yishmor tzedcha uvoecha me'ata ve'ad olam. Adonai yishmor tzedcha uvoecha me'ata ve'ad olam. Al mekoma tavo v'shalom. We begin with a selection from Psalms. Shir Lama'alot, a song for those who ascend. Esainai el heharim me'ayin yavo Ezri. I turn my eyes to the mountains. From where will my help come? My help comes from God, Adonai, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your guardian will not slumber. You see, the guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian, your protection at your right hand. By day the sun will not strike you, nor the moon by night. God will guard you from all harm. God will guard your life. God will guard your going and coming, now and forever. May Marjorie Kay Z go unto God in peace. Hatzur tamim, Paulo kichod rachav mishpat, el emuna ve'inav, el tzadik v'yashar hu. Tzadik atadonai lamid l'chayot, asher piadcha, pigadon kol ruchot, chalil lecha zichronenu limchot. V'yuna einecha, berachamim aleinu v'kuchot, ki lecha adon, harachamim v'haslichot. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, dayan ha'emet. Praised are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, the judge of truth. Adonai natan v'Adonai lakach, Yishem Adonai mevorach, ve'hu rachum yechaver avon v'lo yashchit, v'bal hashiva po v'lo ya'ir kol chamato, ve'hashov ve'afar, al haaretz shehaya, ve'aruach tashuv, el ha'Elohim asher netana. The dust returns to the earth as it was, but the spirit returns to God who gave it. May our beloved soul be bound up in the bond of life eternal, and may God send comfort to those who mourn and grant strength to those whose burden is sorrow. I want to thank everyone who has tuned into our broadcast. In these challenging times, our familiar Jewish rituals of gathering together to hug, to hold hands, are not possible. But still, technology helps us transcend boundaries. We're thankful that we could broadcast this service so people all over the world, not even just in Winnipeg, can watch. And we're thankful for other ways that we have: text messages, emails, phone calls, for sharing love, for sharing stories, and for joining our hearts together with those in Marjorie's loved ones, her family and friends, who are now in mourning. We are here today to honor Marjorie Kay, Malka Esther bat Shmuel v'Sarah, the daughter of Sam Hoffman and Shirley Bershatsky, Zichronam Livracha, of blessed memory. We are here to pay tribute to her, to show her the ultimate respect we have in Jewish tradition of accompanying her to her final resting place. And we are here today to say goodbye. Marjorie passed away Thursday morning, the 17th day in the Hebrew month of Kislev. She was 88. She will be lovingly remembered by her children, Lynn, Joel and Cindy, Barb and Sid, and David, by her grandchildren, Adam, Leah, Rachel, and Jack, by her niece and nephews, Kim, Johnny, and Clayton, as well as dear cousins, Zella, Elaine, Evelyn, Penny, the Columbias, and the Garfinkels. Marjorie was predeceased by her parents, Sam and Shirley, by her brother, Harvey, and by her beloved husband, Jack, all of blessed memory. In meeting a few nights ago and spending some time with Marjorie's children, I was reminded of a story that's found actually in the Talmud that I would like to share to begin the hesped, the eulogy portion of this service. Rabbi Yochanan said, "Our father Jacob is not dead." But Rabbi Nachman countered, "What are you talking about? Was it for naught that Jacob was mourned, prepared for eternal rest, and buried?" Rabbi Yochanan replied, "As Jacob's children are alive, so too is Jacob alive." Marjorie Kay always cared deeply about being Jewish. It began for her when she was young. She grew up in a blue-collar home, and even though it meant a longer walk, she was determined to go to school at St. John's Tech so she could be around Jewish kids. She desperately wanted to be connected to Jewish culture and community, and this was demonstrated even as a young teenager. It was something she kept up throughout her life and passed on to her children, sending them to Jewish schools, for the education, but also to be surrounded by other Jewish kids, keeping a kosher home, maintaining her membership with our shul, the Sheretz Zedek, even if she got older and was no longer able to go regularly. The connection, the showing of support was something very important to her. And of course, there was her deep connection to Israel, with frequent visits, including mission trips through the Federation. In Israel, she especially loved being able to spend time in local schools helping to teach English. She felt a particular connection with the Hebrew University, as she and Jack made donations to the medical school and set up a scholarship fund in Jack's memory at Hebrew U to ensure tuition for a student every year. Israel was a highlight, but only the tip of the iceberg when it came to Marjorie's love of travel. This was something she shared with Jack and even continued bravely and boldly, I might add, on her own for the last 2 decades after her husband passed away. There were countless trips: Florida, Arizona, regular visits to Palm Springs in the winter, and of course, there were cruises. From the way I heard the stories, it sounds to me like Marge was a bit of a cruise expert. Certainly a lover of cruise wear. When you got her going, she could rattle off all the details about the world's premier cruise lines, going through specifics for all the ships in the various fleets. She learned by experience. She went everywhere. Most notably, a season where she cruised both coasts of South America back to back, gone for 7 weeks in total. David volunteered a story about a more recent trip he took with his mother, a cruise through the Panama Canal. Sitting in the formal dining room every evening, staying up late to go to the theater and the shows, and of course her incredible sea legs. As the ship is going through the canal, to hear David tell it, it's practically on its side and tons of people are succumbing to seasickness, but for Marjorie it was like nothing had happened. I find it telling that people who traveled with Marjorie, who met her on missions to Israel or some of these cruises, would say about her, to her kids or others when they got back home, that she was a hoot, a riot, a ton of fun. Traveling, seeing the world, obviously brought out a special side of her. It was a huge part of her life. And the memories made with people who traveled with her will certainly endure and hopefully inspire more trips and memories. It certainly worked for Marjorie and for Jack. He was an established bachelor when he met Marjorie, 18 years his junior. They met at the Y. She caught his eye as she was often well-dressed, and the story goes, when he saw her, he declared, "She's the one for me." They dated for 2 years. Then Jack went away on a cruise, as it would happen to be, missed her, and shortly after he returned, with a little bit of family pressure mixed in, proposed to her. They were married in 1954 and started growing and raising their family. First in an apartment in Lanark Gardens, then the house they built on Brock in 1960. Lynn, Joel, Barb, and David came along. As a mother, I'm told Marjorie was strict. She definitely had her fair share of rules, but there was no doubt she loved all her children unconditionally and supported them in their various endeavors. There are little stories that stand out, like waiting outside David's classroom on the first day of school until he gave her the signal it was okay to leave, which was at lunchtime. Or sending Joel food specifically for Pesach when he went away to law school in New Brunswick so that he'd be able to keep the holiday, which of course he still does to this day thanks to his mom. She mothered by example. Her rules were designed to teach how to cook, how to clean, how to do laundry, how to be organized, how to take care of themselves, so they'd be ready when they moved out on their own. All those life skills came from Marjorie. She cared deeply about doing the right thing, even if that sometimes left her feeling anxious or unsure that she wasn't doing the right thing. She cared deeply about being right. And time again, moments where her kindness, thoughtful heart, and generous nature shone through. Whether it was in the touching way she offered to replace a beloved family heirloom for a daughter-in-law, or the deliberate stocking of a fridge so her children and their families would have food when they got home from a trip, or the way she followed up with phone calls when she knew people were in the hospital. She stayed in touch with relatives, especially on Jack's side, keeping family close. She was always very good about that sort of stuff. As a wife, she truly was devoted, supporting Jack, raising 4 kids. These are their words. They credit her for having all turned out well-adjusted. She and Jack, as we've talked, loved to travel. They loved to bowl. They had a very traditional marriage. When he got sick and was nearing the end of his life, Marjorie chose to take care of Jack in their condo. She felt strongly it was important for her husband to be with her, for her to take care of him personally at the end. She didn't want his life to end in a care home. After Jack passed, not only did Marjorie continue on, she learned new skills she had always allowed Jack to handle. At the age of 67, she started learning new tricks to become more and more independent. For example, learning how to manage her own money. Marjorie Kay was certainly determined. If she wanted something and put her mind to it, she got it. Like when she was 80 years old, after a lifetime of smoking, quitting cold turkey. Some may even say she mellowed with age. She certainly appreciated her family, and especially her grandchildren when they started arriving. She had a unique and special relationship with each of her 4 grandchildren, inside jokes and stories. I'm told she would win Leah over summer after summer by sending her gum at camp, signing her letters Grandma, Gramma. In recent years, they caught up regularly with weekly phone calls. She and Adam bonded over a shared love of Patrick Liney, and even simple things like the way she'd answer the phone when he'd call. Hello, hello? Hello, hello. A special kibitz shared by just the 2 of them. Trips to Toronto to see Adam and Leah were always memorable, especially with Grandma, which is what she was known before Joel had kids and changed her name to Bubby. Especially when she was down on all fours giving horseback rides to Adam. But no trip was as memorable as when Barb and Sid went on a mini honeymoon and Marjorie and Jack came to babysit. Let's just say they had a little trouble getting to the mall, and it was 5-year-old Adam who had to step in to navigate. For Rachel and Jack, Marjorie became Bubby. Because, of course, Joel, he had a Bubby, so they had to have one too. Their memories center around weekly Friday night Shabbat dinners with the entire Lazar clan, to which Marjorie was absolutely welcomed and embraced. In fact, the Lazar family took very kindly to her and she to them. When Marge was a little younger and Rachel and Jack were too, she'd bounce them on her lap at the table. And there's, of course, the incredibly tender video, no pun intended at all, of the time Marge went over to Joel and Cindy's house specifically to give Rachel and Jack instructions in the kitchen on how to make a proper Jewish brisket. One thing for certain, all the grandkids can share and relate to was playing cards with their grandmother, a notorious cheater, especially at Go Fish. For some reason, Bubby, Grandma, just couldn't handle losing at Go Fish, no matter how much she loved her younger opponent. That was just part of who she was. Fun, playful, mischievous, a troublemaker. She had an offbeat sense of humor. In Yiddish, you might say a tubernik. But at her core, she cared about people, and especially her family. She was always there, always present, always supportive, always in her unique way, always striving to help, to do the right thing, to do the best she could. I found it interesting that in conclusion, her children talked about missing the deep, impactful conversations they've enjoyed with her over their lives, especially in more recent years. That's why they remind me of that story of Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Nachman. In their case, and in this family's case, even though Marjorie has passed, she is a part of them. She has achieved immortality through her family. May her memory be a blessing. The family also asked that I extend a special thank you to her deeply devoted, compassionate caregivers, Elena, Kathy, and Patricia. rachamim, shochein bamromim, hamtzei menucha nechona tachat kanfei hashchina, b'malot kedoshim uteorim, kezohar arakia mazhirim, et nishmat malka Esther bat Shmuel v'Sara shelcha leolama. Began, dente menuchata, anabal harachamim, hastirea besete kenafecha leolamim, utzror v'tzror achayim et nishmata, Adonai hu nachalata, v'tanuach b'shalom, hamishkava, v'nomar, Amen. Exalted, compassionate God, grant infinite rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure to the soul of Marjorie Kay, daughter of Sam and Shirley, who has gone to her eternal home. Merciful One, we ask that she find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. May her soul be bound up in the bond of life. May she rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. If I may offer one more reading, one more prayer. Eternal God, Master of mercy, give us the gift of remembering. May our memories of Marjorie be tender and true, undiminished by time. Let us recall her and love her as she was. Shelter us with the gift of tears. Let us express our sense of loss, sorrow, pain, as well as love, and even words unspoken. Bless us with the gift of prayer, that we may face you with an open heart, trusting faith, unembarrassed and unashamed. Strengthen us with the gift of hope, that we may always believe in the beauty of life, the power of goodness, and the right to joy. May we surrender our being and the soul of our beloved to your all-knowing compassion. In a moment, we will conclude our service with the recitation of the Mourner's Kaddish. And the mourners who are here will have an opportunity to shovel earth into the grave. In our tradition, this is a mitzvah, a righteous act, something we do selflessly without hope of reward. It can be a painful act, but it's born of love and compassion for someone who meant so much to others. We believe in Jewish tradition, our loved ones deserve to be buried by our own hands, kind, knowing, sorrowful, hands that once held their hands. Of course, we are remiss that we can't all participate in this time-honored and familiar ritual, but we have family members here who will be able to participate. And again, we thank everyone who has tuned in. And in lieu of the formal Shiva rituals we're so used to, I encourage what I said at the beginning to continue to reach out to Lynn and Joel and Barb and David and their families to connect and to join your hearts together with theirs. At the beginning of the service, I offered the words of Job, the epitome of Jewish suffering. Adonai natan v'Adonai lakach, yehi shem Adonai mevorach. God, you have given, God, you have taken. Blessed be the name of God. To the family, I also offer words in Hebrew and in English. Hamakom yinachem etchem b'toch sha'ar avelei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May you be comforted and consoled among all those who are in mourning or who have ever been in mourning in our community. And may the memory of Marjorie Kay be for a blessing, as we mark that her essence will never leave the hearts and souls that she touched throughout her life. The Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates peace and harmony on high bring peace and harmony to us, to all Israel, and to all of humanity. And again, let us say amen. The conclusion of the service with the burial, we'll turn off the broadcast. It'll be done here.